So throughout these playoffs so far, we've already seen a ton of playoff droppers. And you know what? They've impacted their team immensely, making them lose games and actually just suck in the playoffs. Contenders in the past that were considered the best team in the league got swept in the first round by the Boston Celtics. One of the best centers in the league is barely scoring 12 points a game, and DeMar DeRozan is back on his bullshit. Today, we'll talk about the top 5 worst playoff droppers this playoffs. Let's get straight into the video. Now, of course, none of these players are going to make the second round, besides Bam Adebayo. But anyway, let's talk about the worst playoff droppers. At number 5, I have Trae Young. Why do I have him so low, even though he only averaged 15 points a game? Because Trae Young was facing the best defense in the NBA. There's a lot of excuses for Trae Young, but 15 points a game and more turnovers than assists in this series is abysmal. Besides that one good game he had in Game 4 of the series, what really was his series? I mean, look, Trae Young is my favorite player that's not on any of my favorite teams. But look, this was horrible. You know, backing up a great playoff run last year with this just makes you look like a fraud and is not good for Trae Young. Trae Young is the 5th worst playoff dropper this season, averaging 15 points per game in the first round. That's ugly. At number 4 for playoff droppers, the reason why I don't have him higher on this list is because he's still an amazing defender, is Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo was looked at as a future superstar, a future top 10 player, a guy with massive potential with a great build and some shooting ability. I mean, it's true though. He's been becoming better as a free throw shooter, way better. I mean, he shot like 86% from the free throw line this season or last season. I don't know which one it was. He's shooting a lot better from mid-range. Maybe he'll extend his game to the three-point line. There's a lot to be desired about Bam Adebayo. But I'll tell you one thing he's not doing is performing in this year's playoffs. Man's averaging 12 points per game and 8 rebounds. As a max level center, 12 points per game in the playoffs? Really, Bam Adebayo? Against one of the worst rim protecting teams in the league this year, you average 12 points per game? Bam Adebayo, I remember in the bubble when we were facing the Celtics, and you averaged like 25 or 28 for that series, and your paint presence alone won us that series and got us to the NBA Finals. Well, those days are in the past, and Bam Adebayo is one of the worst playoff droppers this season. You know, there are 3 things destined in life: death, taxes, and DeMar DeRozan sucking in the playoffs. This regular season, he averaged 28 points per game, was on the Kia MVP ladder for a while, and I mean a while. People were saying that he was the MVP frontrunner when certain players like LeBron James started not winning games, when Joel Embiid was still in his slump, when DeMar DeRozan was hitting game winners against mediocre teams. Anyway, I digress. DeMar DeRozan being a playoff dropper, I mean, there's literally nothing else that you can find that is more guaranteed. If you told me to put $5 on DeMar DeRozan dropping in the playoffs, I'd put down my whole house on it. DeMar DeRozan in the playoffs has sucked. 20 points per game, 4.8 assists, 5 rebounds, 41% from the field. That is a big efficiency drop from what he did in the regular season. He hasn't hit one three-pointer this whole playoffs. His efficiency is off the charts horrible. And you call this a first option on a good playoff team? Nah, this is a first option on a play-in team. And that is where the Bulls should have been this year, the play-in. I'm sorry, I understand the Cavs missed the playoffs, but they are the much better team than the Bulls. Darius Garland is better than DeMar DeRozan. I don't want to hear anybody say different. This is annoying. When you see DeMar DeRozan have great MVP, sometimes caliber level seasons, all NBA caliber seasons, and then you see him do this, it is the exact reason why you do not trade for him. Chicago, you messed up. For the 2nd worst playoff dropper this year, we have Kyrie Irving. Now, just listen to these stats, okay? Kyrie Irving, one of the so-called best scorers, most skilled players of all time, one of the best point guards of our generation. His last 3 playoffs, he's averaged 21 points a game, 22 points a game, and 21 points a game. Yeah, that's right. Kyrie Irving, so-called one of the best players in the league and one of the most skilled players in NBA history, is averaging 21 points a game in the playoffs over his last 3 seasons? Yo, that is not acceptable. And this season, he did the same thing. In a pivotal game against the Celtics, he dropped 10 points. And then the next game, he dropped 13 points. Wow. Big jumps, Kyrie, from 10 points to 13 points, man. You're really doing really good out here, man. And you know what? His series stats would not look that good if he didn't drop 39 in the first game. In fact, I'll show you what he would be averaging if he didn't drop 39 in the first game. Kyrie Irving has averaged 15.3 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 5.0 assists in 3 games in the last 3 games of his postseason career. So besides game 1, Kyrie Irving is averaging 15 points per game, and we still have the fucking audacity to put him in a similar conversation as Damian Lillard. Get the hell out of here. Damian Lillard was averaging 3 times 15 last year, it felt like. So don't ever say Kyrie Irving is anywhere near Damian Lillard when it comes into production, let alone playoff production. 15 points per game. I don't care what's going on, Kyrie, with anything else in the locker room or anything else in your personal life. 15 points per game for a max player is horrible. And you knew he was going to be here. At number 1 for the worst playoff dropper this playoffs is Kevin Durant. This self-proclaimed best player in the league. This self-proclaimed better than Curry guy. As he goes on to Twitter and likes tweets that says Curry was not that important to the Warriors dynasty. Kevin Durant, your ego is the size of Mount Everest, but your game does not back it up. Without super teams, where are you? Oh, second round exit. Western Conference Finals exit. Where else are you? Second round exit last year. First round exit this year. It is a reoccurring theme for Kevin Durant to disappoint in the playoffs when he doesn't have Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry, the greatest depths of all time. It is a common theme for Kevin Durant to fucking suck in the playoffs when he doesn't have some of the best players of all time holding his hand and rubbing his ass. And it's the truth. Kevin Durant these playoffs, 26.3 points per game. Well, that doesn't look that bad, but that is deceiving. When you shoot 38% from the field and 33% from 3 as the so-called most efficient scorer this game has ever seen, don't come and tell me that you are that, because you're not. Kevin Durant, you're a fraud, the self-proclaimed best player in the league, and you're averaging 26 points per game and shot 4 for 17 in a pivotal game against the Celtics. Man, I don't want to hear this bullshit. Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, Stephen Curry, LeBron James, all better than you. So sit down, Kevin Durant, and get on them Twitter fingers, boy. I know you're still on Twitter, boy. Thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and watch my previous video on the top 4 playoff teams this season.
Hey, come on, I got a bag on me. You try to take it, leave you stinking like your last homie. She kinda cakey, little baby, put that ass on me. But I ain't that horny, do you got some cash for me? Why every time you ask him that, bitches act funny. And you keep trying to hold the strap, you won't slap for me. You too happy, I can tell you never had money. Every time you get on live, gotta flash money.